and welcome to Half Horse Tarot. I am here with your monthly reading for the month of September 2018. Before we get started, I do just want to go ahead and apologize to you guys for taking so much longer to get out your video as well as the rest of the air signs in relation to all of the other signs. So I am sorry for a bit of the delay there with that, but things on my end have been really chaotic lately, so I've just now had the time to do your reading and to film your video. So I'm sorry about that, but I did also want to mention that I am still filming this in the month of August. So if you do watch this video and it doesn't really resonate with you, or if you do just want to get a little bit more information, you might benefit from going back and looking at the August monthly readings I did, as well as the mid-month updates, because you're probably going to get a little bit more information from those readings. All of the signs are really going through a lot of major stuff, both in terms of external changes and also stuff internally. And that energy doesn't resolve itself within the span of a month or within a couple of weeks. So a lot of that energy will carry through, definitely throughout the month of September, but also probably through at least the end of the year for a lot of people. So you might benefit from going back and taking a look at the older videos. Additionally, watching your moon sign and rising sign videos for the month of September. All of the other signs have been posted. The air signs are the only ones that have had that real delay with getting out. So with that all being said, we will go ahead and get started with your reading. There's definitely a lot of big things going on for you guys in the month of September. So your central issue for the month is the Two of Swords in reverse, which I really, really like. You know, the Two of Swords in the upright is, traditionally depicted as this woman with the blindfold, and she's got these crossed swords, and she's not really doing anything. She's not making any decisions. She's almost in a state of contemplation where she's really trying to wait for all of the information to come in and to, weigh things up before she does anything or before she acts. With this card being in the reverse, it says to me that you guys are going to start moving forward and getting things done and making decisions and getting out of that sort of stagnant, complacent or passive state of mind, and really taking some initiative to get some stuff going. So I do like that energy is your central issue, because this month of September is really going to be about doing that. It's at the 2, and so you're at kind of the beginning stages, but really just getting something going, making choices and moving down a new path. So that's really positive to see that you're being a bit more active and a little less passive. Taking a look at your distant past, you guys have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I don't normally read the Knights or the pages in the court cards as people, but because I am reading for a lot of people, it may make sense to some of you guys if this is a person. If they are a person, they would likely be around your age, and most likely an earth sign, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. And the earth signs for your reference are Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. They may be somebody who, in your distant past was a bit of an emotional drain. They kind of kept you from moving forward into a new path. They might have been an option that you had on the table, be this a romantic relationship or a business partnership, whatever it may be. But just generally speaking, they weren't a very valid option. And if that's relevant to you, you're going to know, because with this Two of Swords being in the reverse, I think that would be like the realization that this person wasn't all they were cracked up to be, and that they did a little bit more harm than good in terms of your own personal development and just moving forward on your path. But just generally speaking, I see that Knight as being like an energy, and with it being in the reverse, you already have the Pentacles, which is a really, really slow suit when it comes to manifesting things, just in terms of timeline. And with that being in the reverse, it says to me like we're doubly stagnant, we're not moving anywhere, nothing's progressing. The positive thing is that this is in your distant past, so probably most likely out to 3 months. You might have been feeling that kind of stagnation, but that's going to start to resolve itself when that Two of Swords energy in the reverse really kicks in. So I'm not too concerned with that being there just because of its position in your spread. In your recent past, you guys have Death in reverse. This one I'm a little bit more concerned with. It can be Scorpio. You actually have double Scorpio energy, so the sign of Scorpio may be relevant for some of you guys if this is somebody that you've been dealing with. But more likely than not, it's just going to be kind of a reiteration of that stagnant energy. Things just aren't moving forward. Something has to come to an end. You know, there's definitely a transition that's occurring, but the Death card, which, you know, is a bit different than the Tower, even though you have both in your reading. The Death card, that transition is a lot slower, and it usually takes a lot more time to manifest. You know, this is not going to be an ending that's a surprise to anybody, because with it being in your recent past and being in the reverse, it's like this is a long time coming. So you're kind of in either one of two situations. It's like the ending hasn't occurred because there are things that need to be resolved and that need to be wrapped up before you are able to move forward. So it's more like the delays are external and out of your control. For others of you, it's going to be like that kind of Klingon energy where, like, you know that something has to come to an end, that you have to move on and do something new, but you're just kind of digging your feet into the dirt and really kind of stubbornly and steadfastly holding on to something that is pretty much past its expiration date. The positive thing is, again, that both of those cards, the stagnant energy with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse and with Death in reverse, are in the past. And because we have this Two of Swords in reverse here as your central issue, I really think that this month is definitely going to be boding well for you guys to let go of anything that needs to be let go of, anybody who needs to be let go of, and really move on. Also, any delays temporally are going to start to resolve themselves and work themselves out. So that's really great, because we're starting to get some positive movement forward. So I do like seeing that. Now, the cards that are above your central issue are cards that I see as being external energies. This means that this can be something that's being done to you by somebody else, something that somebody else in your life is going through, energies that may be brought in by the universe or spirit or whatever you may believe in. But just generally speaking, things that are a bit more outside of your control. Additionally, they can be things that are going on in your own head. And I think you have a bit of a mix. So you at the very top of your reading, you have the Eight of Pentacles in the upright. This is an awesome card. This is all about really putting in some hard work. You know, you're at the 8, you're almost at the 10, you're almost there. Just being focused and determined and a hard worker and really putting in the effort. And so I think that a lot of you guys are doing that this month, just kind of being doggedly focused on something that you want to achieve. So that really bodes well, especially financially. You've got some really great cards related to your finances and to your material world, also your work life. That all seems to be really looking up, especially if you've been having some issues, you know, in the past, possibly with that Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Maybe money was a little bit slow to come in. You have a lot of cards here that say that those issues are going to start to resolve themselves. Maybe in terms of a job, some of you guys might have gotten an apprenticeship somewhere, or you're thinking about doing that. And if so, it seems to be like a really positive new direction for you. So I would definitely do a little bit more thinking about that, but it seems to be something that would benefit you greatly if you are among those people who might be doing like an apprenticeship or an internship. Beneath that card, you guys have the Fool in reverse. Even though the energy is in the reverse, the Fool is all about new beginnings. So this is going off on a completely new path, a completely new chapter in your lives. And I think that this is something coming in from the universe. It's like a new beginning that it's on offer. You're almost there. You're just not quite 100% ready to kind of flip that energy into the upright and really capitalize on that. This card can also be a bit of a warning to make sure that you aren't jumping into something too recklessly. You know, the Fool is a bit of a card of a leap of faith. So just making sure that, you know, you really have considered all the options here, like the woman is doing in the Two of Swords in the upright, and making sure that you're as formed as you can possibly be before you jump off into something new, and possibly get yourselves into trouble in doing so. But just generally speaking, I do think that this is definitely mostly going to be symbolic of a new beginning coming in for you guys. It just might not be completely there yet. It might take a couple of weeks to really start to manifest for you guys to see that you're being guided down a new path. So the cards that are beneath your central issue are things that I see as being more foundational energy. So this is stuff that may be from the distant past that you're carrying forward with you, or if they're more recent, it could just be something that's within your realm of control. So with the Seven of Cups here, the sevens are all about making decisions and making choices. And with the Seven of Cups in particular, you really get that energy just off the depiction of the card. You have these 7 cups, and each of the cups has something in it, and it's kind of up to you to examine all the options before you and to figure out which options are actually viable and which ones are kind of like, you know, a bit false or aren't really gonna pan out. So with this being beneath you, this may be something that you've been doing for a while, this contemplation, and that could be why you've had that stagnant energy there in your past. But it can also just be a reminder that the decisions that you make are within your control. You're going to be the one who has to decide what you want to pursue, what you want to go forward with, and what you want to leave behind. So that's going to be up to you. But, you know, it's just a matter of using your own discretion and discernment, which you guys, I think, are and have been doing, to figure out how to move forward in a more positive and constructive way. So beneath that, you guys have the 6 of Pentacles in the upright. This is a really, really great card, especially in terms of finances. You know, if money's been a little bit lacking lately, it's like some money might be coming into you. Likewise, if you have a substantial amount of money, maybe you're helping out other people, and that's just going to be really rewarding and fulfilling for you. But it's also the hiring and firing card. So some of you guys might be making the decision to leave a job that you've been stuck at for a while, and you're just not really happy with, and you don't feel like there's any upward mobility, and start to move forward into something new, because you do have the Ace of Pentacles here. It doesn't mean that you guys are going to get fired from your jobs. You might just actually make the decision, you know, to put in your 2 weeks notice and to leave. Likewise, you guys might be hearing back from a job that you've applied for, and it seems like it's going to pan out for you guys if that's the case. So again, because this is in the foundation, this could have already happened for you guys a while ago, but I really don't think that's the case, just because your other cards in the past are a bit more stagnant, and this to me speaks to balance and harmony and things really falling into place for you. So I think that it's going to be coming in for you guys this month, but you're going to be the ones who have control over whether or not you want to take this job or apply for this job, or be a giver or be a taker, whatever it may be. You know, that decision is going to be up to you as to how you want to either use the resources that are at your disposal or how you want to interact with other people. So moving forward into the near future, you guys have the Ace of Pentacles that's in the upright, which is great. You know, again, you've got the Fool here, and even though that Fool is in reverse, this is definitely all speaking to a new beginning. Really awesome energy. You know, the Pentacles are all about your material world, so your finances, your career, you know, even your actual physical home, things that are very tangible. And I really like the Ace of Pentacles because even if it's not talking about your material world, say it's talking about a relationship, for instance, it's a very stable and positive beginning. It's not as fleeting as the Ace of Wands. You know, it's definitely more deeply rooted. So I really like seeing this new beginning because it speaks to me of greater stability and, you know, a greater chance for success just because you're starting off on a bit more of a solid foundation. So however this applies to you, this new beginning, you know, there's definitely a lot of work connections to this card. But even in terms of a relationship, if something new were to come in, it would be a relationship where both parties are putting in the effort, where there's give and take, just balance, and that allows you guys to have a really, really positive foundation upon which to build. So, you know, that's all looking really, really great for you guys moving forward into the month. And then at the end of the month, you guys have the Star card in reverse. So this can mean several things. First of all, the card can represent Aquarius. So if you're dealing with an Aquarius, they might be somebody who, you know, you're trying to start a new beginning with, but you're just having a bit of a difficult time getting things going, getting things off the ground. You might just be having some delays. whether this be romantically or in business or whatever. They may be somebody who's an option for you, but they may not be a viable option. Again, you would have to use your own discernment in that particular matter. But with them being in the reverse, it doesn't seem to be wholly positive if they are somebody who you're considering as an option, romantically or professionally or whatever. But for most of you, the Star card is all about wish fulfillment and getting what you want kind of on a grand scale, being recognized and noticed. Really positive healing energy. And with this card being in the reverse, it says to me that not that you're not going to get what it is that you want, just maybe you don't get what you've wanted, but you end up getting what you needed. Like your greatest wishes don't get fulfilled, but you have this Ace of Pentacles here, so something new and positive does come in. Might not be what you expected it to be. Others of you, this card can actually kind of be positive because in the upright, the Star is always at a distance. So sometimes people get so caught up on something that they can't ever actually attain or achieve, and they stay stuck for that reason. But with this card being in the reverse and you guys having some positive progression moving out of that stuck state, it may be that you're setting your sights on things that are a bit more attainable for you, really evaluating your options and figuring out which ones you can actually pursue. And then, taking the steps that you need to do that so that you can go off in this new beginning on this new path and really embrace that. So it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag with that final card, but overall, the energy of your reading does seem to be pretty positive and definitely speaks to some progress, especially when it comes to finances or career, or just generally speaking, like being able to move forward on a mental level. So I do like what I am seeing kind of overall. Now, the card that you guys got for your overall energy for your spread, this is the card that was at the bottom of the deck, is the Tower. And the Tower is a really scary card to a lot of people because of the imagery on the card. But I actually really like this card because the story behind it is that these people basically built this tower on a really unsolid or shoddy foundation, and they built it up and up and up, and eventually it would get to the point where it can't go any higher, the foundation can't support it anymore. And so this bolt of lightning, which is like an act of God almost, comes in and knocks the tower down to prevent it from going any further, and just to allow people to start back over from square one and build things up on a more solid foundation so that the end structure, the end goal, is rooted in much more stability and isn't going to be something fleeting or something toxic or whatever the case may be. So with this card overshadowing your entire reading, it says to me several things. If you guys have been struggling with letting go of something or somebody or moving forward, this card is going to come in and say, okay, we're getting ready to clean the slate. It's time to get going, and stuff is going to start happening. It may happen out of the blue, out of nowhere, and really, really quickly and rapidly. So much so that it might be jarring to you guys. It might be a little bit scary even. And it might feel like the rug is getting pulled out from beneath you, but you're moving forward into some really positive things. So don't be too alarmed. And for others of you, again, it's just going to be about that impetus, what comes in to catalyze this new movement forward, this new path, this new beginning. This may even be related directly to this Two of Swords reversed card, and this bolt of lightning that strikes this tower may just be nothing more than a stroke of inspiration. If you've been a bit uncertain about how you want to move forward, or what decision you want to make, or what options are tangible and valid and available to you, you might get hit with a bolt of inspiration that comes out of nowhere, and then bam, that's what sets you off on your new path. So, don't let that Tower card scare you too much. I would only be scared if I were clinging on to stuff that I really knew I needed to let go of, because when you're in that cling on kind of phase, the resulting impact of that Tower energy can be a bit brutal to deal with, because it would force you to very quickly let go of anything that's been holding you back. So, you know, just do keep that in mind for those of you to whom that may apply. But generally speaking, I think it's a very positive, cleansing card. The ability to start anew in a more solid and stable direction. So I do have some oracle cards here to give me a bit more information about the energies that you've brought with you from the past and the energies that you will carry with you into the future. So your past energy is the spider or the weaver, and I really like this card because this card all speaks to destiny. It's a throwback to the Native American legend of the mother spider who, you know, created the first dream catcher. She built this spider web, and it's like a reminder that you guys have the ability to manifest your dreams. And if you've already built up a web, you know, going back to this tower, if you've already built up a web and it's not what you wanted it to be or what you thought it would be, you do have the ability to kind of erase your work and go back to the beginning and start anew. Again, this tower energy, this cleansing, clearing energy, and the ability to start over and build something better. So if you don't like the direction that your life's been going in, you have the ability to change it. And that energy is in your past. So it says to me that some of you guys have definitely been doing some contemplating in regard to whether or not you're happy with the direction things in your life are going in. And a lot of you guys may not have been happy with that. You might have decided that you need a change, you need a fresh start. And that's where we start to get, you know, these cards here moving forward, and this Fool card and this Ace of Pentacles, and just a lot of new things coming in for you guys. So that is in the past, but for those of you who are still struggling with figuring out your path and with what you want, do just keep that in mind. That's good advice, that you have the ability to really control your own destiny and to write the story that, you know, you want to be written. So moving forward, you guys have the Skunk card or Compromise. Now this is a bit of a warning. Make sure that as you go throughout the month, when it comes to starting something new or somebody new coming in, whatever it may be, make sure that you are not compromising yourselves in the process. Don't give up, you know, and sacrifice your integrity or your time or whatever it may be for people who are ultimately going to take advantage of you. So do just keep that in mind, that you're not really draining yourselves when it comes to figuring out your way forward. You know, sometimes when we get started on a new path, we're so eager to please everybody and to make everything work out that in the process we really run ourselves ragged, and sometimes even become a doormat for people and allow them to take advantage of us. So as long as you aren't completely compromising yourselves in any which way to the point where you're overwhelmed or you're spread too thin, or you just aren't able to function, you're gonna be okay. So do just keep that in mind as you go forward, especially if you start off moving into something new. So overall, it looks like a really positive month. Just, you know, if you're clinging on to stuff, let it go. And if new beginnings are coming in, make sure that you're using some discernment and figuring out what's a viable option for you, and use that to move forward. And finances are looking up for a lot of you guys, so I generally like what I'm seeing here. So I do hope that this reading resonated with some of you guys. If so, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. If you like the video, I definitely would appreciate if you give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to my channel. And I did want to take a minute to thank all of you guys who have already done so in regard to the August monthly readings and the mid-month updates that I posted. You know, thank you to all of you guys who have watched the videos and given thumbs ups and left encouraging comments. You know, the support I've received from you guys has been beyond anything that I could have expected. So thank you guys again. And also just another reminder, if this didn't resonate, do make sure to check out your moon sign and your rising sign to get some more information, or to see if one of those readings resonates a little bit more with what you're going through. But with all that being said, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you in a couple of weeks with your mid-month update.